Ciryl Gane and Tuivasa, the main event for UFC Fight Night, Gane versus Tuivasa in Paris, France. 5 rounds of heavyweight action versus the greatest French fighter of all time, and I would say a top 5 Australian MMA fighter of all time in Thai Bam Bam Tuivasa. Now, what is my prediction? What is my breakdown? And what betting tips do I have for this fight? Well, that's what we're going to be going through throughout the video. Before we get into it, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, comment your prediction down below. Let's get into it. Ciryl Gane. Now, first thing is first, looking at the Tapology, it's obvious that there's going to be specific, physical advantages for Ciryl Gane. I mean, he obviously looks a lot more in shape than Tai Tuivasa. He went 5 rounds with Francis Ngannou and really did not look too tired. He's been in countless kickboxing and Muay Thai type of fights, and he's shown pretty solid cardio, and then he's grappling, he showed good cardio. So Ciryl Gane, first off, and I don't even know what I'm saying. Furthermore, Ciryl Gane is going to have that cardio advantage over Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa. So in my opinion, if Tai Tuivasa is going to win this fight, which again, we're going to get into my prediction later on in the video, but looking at all of his wins, first round knockout win in 4 minutes 59 seconds, 49-second knockout win, a minute 7-second knockout win, a second round knockout in 26 seconds, a second round knockout in a minute and 40 seconds. Even before that, got one decision win with Andrei Arlovski, and he looked a little tired after only 3 rounds. Not to mention, this fight with Ciryl Gane is 5 rounds. That is a huge factor to be looking at, because all of the fights that Tai Tuivasa has had to date have been those 3-round type of fights. Now, he has been in a main event before with Junior Dos Santos, but he did get knocked out in that fight. This is 5 rounds. If Tai Tuivasa does not go out there and bam, bam, knock out Ciryl Gane in like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe even in the second round, we're going to see a Ciryl Gane win. So I'm not counting out Tai Tuivasa. All I'm saying is Tai Tuivasa's physique and his cardio that I've seen shown in his last fight with Derek Lewis, in his fight with Andrei Arlovski, in his fights with grapplers like Sergey Spivak, is that Tai Tuivasa does not do good the later the fight goes. He's not a cardio guy. He's a bam bam guy looking to knock you out in round number 1, round number 2. Get that performance bonus 50 G's, Dana. Aussie, let's go. Let's go. That's what Bam Bam is trying to do. Ciryl Gane, on the other hand, I know we've been talking about Tai Tuivasa for a while, but Ciryl Gane, on the other hand, like I said, is a lot smaller, weighing 247 pounds on average, more or less, from that 245 to 250 range. So he's about 15 pounds lighter than Tai Tuivasa, but I've kind of covered this on a few other fights, and I've kind of learned from the past. Even like fights like Augusto Sakai versus Sergey Spivak, Sergey was a heck of a lot smaller than him, around the same size as Ciryl Gane, and Augusto Sakai was a lot bigger. And Sergey Spivak was easily able to go out there and get those trip takedowns, get the single leg takedowns and things like that, get the fight down and ground and pound for the win. So the size in the heavyweight division doesn't really matter too much, especially when the bigger guy, in this case Tai Tuivasa, a lot of that extra size is from, the beer belly, because he's freaking shoo-in after every single fight. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Like I said, round 1, round 2 are bust for Tai Tuivasa. Round 3, round 4, or 5 for Ciryl Gane, maybe even a decision. So now let's talk about how I think the fight's actually going to go. I think round 1, Tai is going to search for the knockout. He's going to be the one pressing forward. Ciryl Gane's going to be playing that counter-punching game. And Ciryl is just going to be trying to find that range, trying to find out how to land his jab effectively. He does have an 8-inch reach advantage, so he's going to learn how to use it very well in that round number 1 against Tai Tuivasa to help him in round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5. And he's going to be trying to figure out the leg kick range, the body kick range, and things like that. And once he gets that down packed, he'll get that down packed in like a minute to 2 minutes. After that, he's looking to fake the takedowns, maybe go down and actually attempt a takedown on Tai Tuivasa. That's what I kind of see Ciryl Gane attempting to do or wanting to do in round number 1. Tai, what he wants to do in round number 1, pressure forward, eat all of those jabs from Ciryl Gane. He doesn't care. Eat those shots because the man's chin was tested against Derek Lewis, did not even flinch after getting hit by one of the biggest power punchers in the heavyweight division. So Tai is going to eat those jabs, going to eat those leg kicks and things like that. And Tai's objective is to go out there, pressure Ciryl Gane, get him to make a little stutter step when his back is to the cage. Tai, boom, in, left hook, uppercut, left hook, overhand right. He's looking for that kill shot in round 1 or in round 2. That is Tai Tuivasa's objective. But round number 1, like I said, Ciryl Gane is going to literally calculate everything, kind of like a Petr Yan calculates his reads, calculates the movement of his opponents, finding how to get in with the jab, get in with the right, get in with the leg kicks and things like that, get in with the body shots. That's what Ciryl Gane is going to do in round number 1. So I do not see a round 1 TKO win, a round 1 submission win for Ciryl Gane. It's going to be maybe mainly a feeling out process for Ciryl Gane. Now, round number 2, the first half of round number 2 I see being more of a feeling out process as well. Just seeing if what he learned in round number 1 is going to be effective inside of that round number 2. Towards the end of round number 2, he's going to be looking to land a little bit harder shots and to let Tai Tuivasa go big on some of his shots. He's going to go in a little bit too much to kind of bait Tai Tuivasa to come big with some heavy shots, looking for that bam bam TKO, and that's what Ciryl Gane is going to use to land the takedown. I mean, we've all set it up from that round number 1 to round number 2. Now we go on to round number 3, where Ciryl Gane has set up how he's going to get the jab, set up how he's going to get the right hook in, the leg kicks, the body shots, how he's going to get in for the takedown, faking the takedown, making Tai Tuivasa think. Round number 2 is going to do a lot of the same, and he's actually going to attempt a few more takedowns to figure out if he can legitimately get it down. And then round number 3, once he's learned all of that, it's going to be fast. 20 seconds, 30 seconds in round number 3. He's going to take down Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa. And that is when I think Ciryl Gane gets the choke or gets the ankle lock. I don't know what submission Ciryl Gane is gonna get, but I do know Tai Tuivasa has lost previously to Sergey Spivak by an arm triangle choke submission, which Ciryl Gane does have one of those early on in his career in his UFC debut. A first round arm triangle, also has a few heel hooks on his record as well. So I see him going out there looking to go for that arm triangle choke submission. Maybe Tai gives his back to get back up on the feet. He looks for a rear naked. But I do think round 3 is going to be where Tai Tuivasa starts to fade a little bit, and he's going to be just looking to do anything possible to get back up on the feet for a chance at that knockout blow. And that's where he's going to make the mistake and get submitted by Ciryl Gane. So my prediction here is going to be Ciryl Gane in round number 3 by a submission. Now, if you're wondering what the betting odds are for the fight, they're pretty heavily sided onto Ciryl Gane. Minus 600 for Ciryl Gane, who started at minus 300. I mean, the odds doubled for Ciryl Gane. Tai Tuivasa at plus 400. Betting odds wise, in terms of prop, over 2.5 rounds, which is kind of where I see the finish happening, is literally about even money. Minus 135 plus 105. So that's literally right around where I see the finish happening. So that's a risky bet if you want to do it or not. Over under 2.5 rounds. Literally right around where I think Tai Tuivasa is going to get submitted. Odds to go to a decision are plus 210. Odds for Tuivasa to win the fight by a TKO, which is the main way he would win, is plus 550. Gane inside the distance is minus 117. The only betting odds and betting advice that I'm going to give you on this one is for that submission prop. I wholeheartedly believe that he's going to either get that submission win or the decision win. And Gane by decision is plus 225. So if you're not confident that Ciryl Gane is going to get that submission, you get double your money on a decision prop for Ciryl Gane. And the submission prop, which I actually think hits, is almost plus 400. Plus 400 at plus 385 on one of the bookies that I'm looking at right now. So I think it's either going to be a submission or a decision. I'm sure there's probably going to be a prop out there for submission or decision prop, probably for plus money. But that is one of the bets I'm definitely going to be thinking about doing if the odds are right. Is going to be that submission or decision double chance prop. But if you want to see all the other bets that I'm going to be making at UFC Fight Night Gane versus Tuivasa, my parlays, my other prop bets, some of my underdog bets, some of my money line bets, all of the bets that I'm going to be making for this card and for every UFC, Bellator, PFL card, anything like that, make sure to go down in the link below in the top of the description. It is only $2.99 for the major MMA betting breakdowns, all the bets that I'm going to be making for major MMA organizations, and then at $9.99 for all of my bets, including lower level MMA organizations, as well as basketball, baseball, tennis, football, whatever sport is out there. That's literally all of my bets for $10 a month. But if you just want the major MMA organizations, literally 10 cents a day. That is the prediction I got for you guys. Ciryl versus Ty Bam Tuivasa. Put your predictions down below.